What's up guys, Amar here, and we talked about this before when I mentioned booleans, and in this lesson I will be showing you what are conditional statements. We saw them in our Ninja spawner, we saw them in spawner. So like if our random dot value is greater than 0.5, we're going to do this line of code. If it's not, we're going to do this line of code. In our Ninja, if age is greater than 0, this, if not this, if nothing of that is working, we are going to run this line of code, or this line of codes. Now, that's kind of simple, so I'm gonna show you an example. How do we do that? Well, we declare it by saying if first, open, close this bracket, then open curly and close curly bracket. Now in our brackets, so these brackets, here we can put our statement to be true or false. So if we put our statement to be true, everything is going to be run. So if I put like print and this if is true, this will be typed out in console. Let's check that out. Start our game and you'll see in console this if is true. Come on, this if is true, as I said. Now if I go again and put here to be false, we won't see nothing, so I'm just gonna delete that, clear it and then start again. You'll see that our script or our line of code is not, as you can see, unreachable code detected, and it's pointing to this print because it's false. And now I'm gonna show you another example how you can use like if it's greater or less, lower, not less. So let's say we put int a, which will be, let's say 5, and we put int b, which will be like 2. Now if we put here if r a is greater than b, and that will be true, so this if will be true. Come here and you'll see it here, comment this if is true. Simple. But let's say now we're going to test if our b is less than a. My bad. If b is greater than a, my bad, we're gonna say print a is lower than b, or b is greater than a, whatever you want. Now when I start our function, as I said before, this will not be printed. And as you can see, typing it like this, it's kind of bad code, not kind of, but it is, because we can just copy that, so copy it, delete it. We can put here else, then else if, and then if our a is not greater, but if our a is lower than b, we're going to print out that. And then we can put something like else if a then equal b, and then we'll say print b are a and b are equal. I think I spelled that right, don't judge me please. So as you can see, we're testing here first if our a is greater than b, then we test it if our a is lower than b, and if we put a double sign mark, or should I say my bad, if you put 2 times equal, that means that a is the same number, so at b, so they are equal. Because if you put only 1, it's gonna say here is a problem, because you cannot convert type into a boolean, as you can see. So we need to put 2 times equal, so we can test if those are equal. As you can see, nothing of this will work except this if here. This first if. So I'm gonna show you, like, if you put here to be a wrong, so you'll see that then this line of code will be activated. So I'm just gonna I'm not going to copy anything because you already know it's going to type out A is lower than B, even though we checked out to A to be greater. So I'm going to say here greater, not like that, great or greater, yeah, like that, greater. So A is greater than B. Now when I go to console, you'll see that it's like the second line. So our first line is not true, then we go to our second line. If our second line is true, then it's printed out, and then it jumps over this one, should I say it skips it. Just like that. And now, if you want to type in like anything else, you can just put here else, where there are no more options, and then print here else is printed. And now I'm going to put statement like here, if our A is greater or equal to B. So if you want to check if it's greater or equal, you check it like this, or you can check it like this. So if you put something like equal then greater, this will not work, so keep that in mind. For that you need to put like first, if it's greater then equal, and then here we have if it's less or equal to B. As you can see, now everything, these first three if statements are not true, so it's gonna print out our else. I'm gonna check that right now here in our Unity, and you will see else is true. Come on, A is greater than B, where I made a mistake, and so B is greater than A. How is this true? So we'll have B, if it's B equal or greater. Yeah, because I put greater, yeah, my bad. I'm gonna just put 2 lines of code that won't be true, so you can see that our else is going to be printed out. Come on, as you see, else is printed. I made here a mistake because I put equal or greater, so never mind that, my bad, did not saw that properly. And let's say now you want to test something more. You can test even you can test 2 sentences, should I say 2 statements in one if. So you can check like if A, I'm gonna create another number, so it's gonna be C, int C should be equal to, let's say 6 or not 7. And now here we're gonna check if our C is greater than A, then you put these, and these means and. In our if else statement, this means and. If our A is greater than B, he will print this statement, so statement is true. So if our C is greater than A and this A is greater than B, so for this statement to work, you need a left side to be true and you need a right side to be true. So both sides of it needs to be true. And even if you add like one more, you can put here B is greater than A. And you must remember everything needs to be true so this can be done. So both left and right side. For now I'm just going to show you a simple example of 2 of them. So if C is greater than A and A is greater than B, which is both are true, it's going to print this statement is true. So let's go to Unity, clear our console, our project, clear our console. I do not know why Unity every time compiles it like it's a big code, it's just small little code. Unity, please stop it. Just kidding. As you can see, this statement is true, but we have another thing, another option, like these pipe holes. So, and these means or. And we put these, so I can put here to this statement to be false. So for, I'm going to explain this again. For end statement, I'm going to comment, like for end statement, and you can bookmark this, both both statements I'm not so sure it's statements or statement. Don't judge me. You just keep trying to understand me. Like, that's the only thing I'm trying to do here, to explain you as better as I can. So if both statements, so statement are true, then our if or else if will be how should I say, runnable, should I say, if our else will be initialized. So I'm gonna say something like, for an and, both statement needs to be true. But for this pipe hole, which actually means or, so I'll put here or, and here we'll put and. So or, that means only one statement needs to be true. What I mean by that? Well, as you can see, C is greater than A. So C is greater than A, but our B is not greater than A. So if we put like this and, so I'm gonna put it real quick, and you copy that and paste it, you will see that statement is not true and nothing will be printed. Come on. As you can see, nothing is printed. But if I were to put an or, that means only one statement needs to be true, so this is true, then this will be printed out in our console. Come on. And we think, as you see, this statement is true. Simple as that. So this is everything you need to know about if and else statements. There's one more conditional statements that you will use, and we call it a switch. So I'm just gonna comment this out so you can, I don't know, do whatever you want with that, or we can keep reminding us from here. So our switch statement, so it goes like this. Here we put our statement that needs to be true or false. We can put here like int a is equals to 5, 6, 4, never mind. Here we put a, then put our curly brackets. And how do we check if something is true or false? We use cases for it. So case 1, and then here we put our break. So I'm gonna copy these because we will have more cases. So case 1, so let's say case 2, case 3, or case 4. So let's say case 2, 3, and 4. As you can see, our int a equals to 4. By saying that, it means our case 4 is only going to work because our a is not 1, 2, 3, it's 4, and when we check our case, so if our case is 4, which means they are both true, so I mean our case is true, then it will print out. So print case 4 is printed. I'll just to show you guys, like you put here case 3 is printed, and you will see only case 4 is printed. Now I run our game, we checked out if our case 4 is printed. As you see, case 4 is printed. Simple. Now for switch statement, you can use anything you want. I mean, you can use it even here, but let's say you can put here like string. So let's say string and name, here put name, and our name is how should I put, Kyle, why not? And here we check name. Now if the case name is like, put here Amar, original, I know, here we'll put something like John, and then for our case 2 we'll put Kyle, and for case 1 I'm running out of names, don't judge me. Come on, need one more name, what should I say, Tom. And as you can see, now it's only going to print So print case, we'll say our name is Kale. Well, Kyle, I mean it's pronounced Kyle. As I said before many times, do not judge me, so I think it's Kale. Never mind. Now when I run our Unity or our game applications, whatever we want, you'll see that our name is Kale. And I misspelled here, so there's no need to be A, but never mind. As I said, when I run our game, you will see here, our name is Kyle, should I say. And that's a bit for switch. I mean, I'm gonna show you one more thing. Let's say we have no Kale here, should I say Kyle, and we put here not Tom, but Thomas. And here, nothing is true. So how are we gonna print out anything if none of the cases are true? So there is something like else in our statement. So there is something like else, and that is default. So default with here and then break. So here we will say print none of the names are matching yours. Now we'll go to our Unity, clear our console out, run up our game, and then you will see what is printed in our console. So none of the names are matching yours. So that means there are not like names like ours. So we are original. As you can see, that will be it for our switch statement. I just want to mention that most of the times I use, and probably you will too, use an if statements. There are times that it will be easier to use a switch. Can't remember right now like in the example, but you will see that by programming you will find that you will use if and else statements more often, but there will be times where you will use our switch statement. So guys, that will be it for if and else statements, should I say conditional statements, and until next time, I'm out.